there. I'm back for another fireside chat without the fire. I don't know what we'll talk about. I just decided to turn the video on and see what comes up. But I've been working on these gummies. You know, I like fruit snacks. They're good. I like them. They're nice and chewy, tasty, and all that. But I thought I'd try these. This stuff tastes. These are gummies. They're Haribo Mega Roulette gummies. It's like they taste like you're eating rubber. They have no flavor. They don't have any flavor at all. And you chew them, they give you a good workout on the jaws. But they're not really good. But they're not nasty either. So I guess I'll eat some more. So I guess I'll eat some more. But they do. They're gummy. It's just like you're chewing on rubber. But people must like them because they've been on the market for a while. Gummy bears. These aren't gummy bears. These are little round gummies. But I don't know what's that. But anyway, I want to talk about that fire. It happened in 2018, so it was a while ago. But you know, I told you I do streaming. So you watch streaming and they play these things time and time again. And what they're doing now, since it happened in 2018, you know, they film the people and they each give their account of what happened and how they survived the fire. And all this other kind of stuff. Now, the thing that made me laugh is the one lady, she tells you her mama died in the fire. She's like 35 years old, something like that. But she was saying how the neighbor came running up to their house, banging on the door, telling them, the fire is here, we gotta go. This is Paradise, California. It's the worst fire that ever happened in the history of California, is what they say. Look it up on the internet. But she running and telling the girl, get out of here, we gotta go, run for your life kind of situation. Well, the girl go tell her mom, it was an elder, because like I said, the girl was 35, something like that, 30, 35. So the mom probably elderly, like 60s or so. 50, 60, something like that. She was like 70, 80 with a cane and stuff. But she telling the girl, telling the mom what the girl telling her to run for your life. Mama got called 911. People put too much faith in 911. Mama got called 911 to find out if it's an official evacuation order. Now what the heck? You got a neighbor running, taking time out. She could have been further up the road. But she's taking time out to bang on your door and tell you to run for your life. And you gonna take time to call 911. So anyway, she called 911 asking if it's an official evacuation order. Has the fire reached Paradise yet? 911 say we haven't got word of that yet. Stay put. The 911 didn't tell her to stay put. 911 just said we haven't heard about that yet. Who you think would get the information first? The neighbor or 911? So the mama want to wait for a 911 official order. So the little girl, the 30-year-old, she torn about what to do. Do I leave and flee for my life like everybody's saying? The fire's here, the fire's here. Or do I wait with my mama who wants to wait for the official evacuation order? So naturally, the little girl, the 30-year-old decided to leave. And so now she come back and tell her story, and she all torn up and broken about the fact that her mama didn't make it. Well, mama wanted to hear from 911. She wanted to get the official order. And she said, I probably should have stayed with my mama. Now, you know, if you had stayed with your mama, it would be 2 dead bodies up in there instead of 1. So why did people come up with these ideas? I mean, sure, mama should have left, but mama chose to stay. So now you got to be at peace with yourself and knowing that mama would have wanted you to live and get out of there. She wouldn't want you to stay behind with her waiting for the official evacuation order. But anyway, you watch those fires on TV at 2018 and Google it and see what the heck. There's a mess out there. A lot of people died out there. in their cars trying to escape and all that. But a lot of people live too, so praise God for that. But anyway, so anyway, what else is happening in the news? I can't look for anything. Oh, the one lady, the doctor getting on TV. She gets on TV, you know, they try to convince people to get the COVID shot. And, you know, they got their parents who don't want to get their kids vaccinated and stuff. So you got the doctor, you know, the expert, to get on TV to tell people, to try and convince them to get the COVID shot. So the doctor wants to say, I want to thank all the parents for caring so much about the children. You know, the ones that don't want to get the kids vaccinated. And so she want to encourage them to do so. But first of all, she want to go ahead and thank them for caring so much about their children. You know, that they consider whether it's safe or not. And she said they care about them because they love them. So to me, that just cracked me up, because it just, I don't know what to think. I mean, the lady means well. I know she do. It's all well and good. But to get on here, to me, it's just to me. I'm saying I might just see things and think things through differently from other people. But I just see that as being some kind of pompous attitude to feel like, you know, you need to thank people for caring about their own children. Now, I know there's exceptions. I know there's some people out there that don't care about their kids, like them folks who left them kids in the house with that dead body. There's something wrong with them. But for the most part, people love their kids, they care about their kids, and they don't need no doctor to get on TV. To get on TV and thank them for caring for their children. Especially you trying to convince me to do something for my young. Because the thing is, the parents already know what they're going to do and not going to do. And whether you thank them or not for taking care, for caring for their own kids, it's not going to change the situation. But anyway, she young and dumb, 30 years old, I'm sure, 30, 35, whatever. She's a young doctor. But see, when you're 58, you can look at these young folks and see the humor in some of the stuff they attempt to do. But I'm not knocking her. Let her do her job. That's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to do whatever she can. She do her very best and try and convince people to do what needs to be done for public health, focused safety, and for the safety of the children. So, and if that's her best angle, just thank people for caring for their own kids. Well, more power to her. And then I guess the other thing I was going to talk about, what I was going to say, I had something written down. I don't even know where it was. I don't know where it was. Oh, I think that what it was. I would say dictate. I mentioned that already. I just wanted to thank my parents for sending us to the dictionary and the encyclopedia. Because that made a difference in our lives as far as being able to discern what people are talking about and to not take things and hang it on your hat and pick up these issues and put them in your pocket. That's my dad used to sing that song. Picking up issues, put them in your pocket. Picking up issues, put them in your pocket. Meaning like, these people you run into in the world gonna have issues. But that don't mean you gotta pick them up, put them in your pocket, and carry them around. I mean, really. I mean, I'm just talking about off the top of my head. But you're talking about my situation, basically. I know what I will not be able to live with. Some things I just can't do it over my dead body kind of situation. Same thing that happened with my kids. Now, had I decided to pick up the issues and put them in my pocket, all that stuff that Reggie was talking about doing, the thing that he brought down on my kids and on our family, and put those issues in our pockets, I would be miserable right now. You know why? Because this is what would happen. Now, see, when all this stuff was happening in 2000, 2001, 2002, 3 times, 4 times, 5, when all this was going down, ain't nobody knew about this pandemic coming down the line. This was not even a hint in anybody. It was not on anybody's radar that someday we're going to be in a pandemic and people going to be forced to stay home And, the world is going to be going on and people wearing masks and staying home and all kinds of stuff. So what would that mean for me? First of all, you get married, you have your kids, and you got a plan. Okay, now then somewhere along the way with that plan, the man say, if you quit your job, that's grounds for divorce. So every time, if I ever want to quit my job, take care of my young, grounds for divorce. Now, what I would see now, 2000, these years down here, 2005, I guess we say 2020 and stuff like that, when all this stuff started, what would happen, and it would have happened even before then. First of all, you use that extrapolation. You can extrapolate out. I learned extrapolation in physics. I took physics class in high school. First part of the semester was astronomy. Second part was physics. Learned all about extrapolation. Extrapolation was about if the asteroid is here today, moving at a certain speed, going in a certain direction, nothing acting on the asteroid, where it's going to be 20 years from now. Same thing. You do that with your life. If nothing happens, if you continue doing what you're doing, acting on the same thing that you're doing with nothing interfering, where are you going to be 20 years from now? So extrapolation, this man going on his own separate journey, going off on a tangent, nothing acting on him, nobody telling him what to do, nobody telling him he's wrong, nobody giving him wise counsel, nobody telling him he needs your kids to be better than this. He's just doing his own thing. So if you extrapolate that out 20 years from now, or even at that time, it wasn't no 20 years from now, it was like 5 years from now. What I would see is the fact that he tied up with this girl, maybe they would have got married, maybe they wouldn't. But I'm sure at some point they would have had kids. Whether she just laying up with him and she got knocked up, or whether they got married and she just got knocked up and they starting a family. Either way, what I know is she did nails. So if you're doing nails, ain't no way you're going to be able to be out here. He working full time. You're working full time. And then now we got to pay for child care. Child care is expensive. So now they got to take her child plus my two and put them in daycare so she can go do nails. Well, extrapolation, I know that Reggie's not going to go for that. He ain't gonna be paying somebody to go out here. He's not gonna support somebody going out here to do nails when he paying more in child care than if she would just stay her derriere at home and take care of the kids. So you see, in that situation, she'd have been home taking care of her young. Now me, traveling along that same journey, and I'm looking over there on that path that they on, and I see that, I would be like, that's insane. Staying home with the kids was grounds for divorce when we were together. Now you're over on this journey, and staying home with the kids is okay. And I understand situations change. I mean, I'm making income, and we can support that. Putting the kids in daycare. Her career or job choice would not support that. So I understand the difference. But like I say, that's not my issue. Divorce was supposed to happen, and we on this journey. You keep forcing me to stay on the job, keep going to work, whether it's with divorce or whether it's with logic. See, he was threatening me with divorce. If you quit your job, I'm divorcing you. Now, what he could have done is use some logic. He could have said, if you quit your job, you're not going to get a pension. You got all these years in already, so why don't you just stay in a few more years and get a pension? Those kids are going to be in school full time soon. So don't throw away your pension to stay home and take care of the kids 2 or 3 years. You stay in. And that would have brought me in. I would have been reeled back in because I would have remembered. That's why I joined the Army in the first place. I look at my parents. My parents, both of them, they worked. Dad was an entrepreneur all his life, as far as I can remember. I mean, he did have some jobs then, but nobody, mom or dad, stayed on a job 20 years, or 30, I guess, civilians, 30 years, because, military, 20 years. Now, one of them stayed on a job 30 years to draw a pension. So I know, as a young person, like I say, you learn from others' mistakes. You learn your parents' history, and if you don't want to repeat, you don't do it. During our family meetings, Daddy always said, you're going to have to take you kids, you're going to have to help support me and your mother in your old age when we get older, because we don't have our Social Security, but that's all we're going to have. So you kids going to have to help out. And I remember that, and ever since I was earning the income, I used to send money home to make sure that they had to supplement to their maker. So what I do is I don't want to be that. I don't want to be out there not having a career, not having a pension in the end. So I joined the Army, and that's how I stayed. That's all I already had to do was remind me. That's why it helps to write down your career goals, because then you if you forget, you run across it somewhere and remember. In fact, that's how I remembered that I needed to get my advanced degrees, because in ROTC we had to write out our goals. We had to write long-term and short-term goals, and I remember writing my goals about the short-term goals, and then my long-term goals was to go ahead and get that master's degree. I graduated from bachelor's in 92, so I'm going to get that bachelor's degree in 10 years from there, no less than 10 years, no longer than 10 years from that, so it would have been 2002, and then 2012, I'm supposed to get that doctorate. Here it is already with 2007, 2008 or so, excuse me, it could have been 2009, and I'm still with a bachelor's degree. So now I'm like, oh no, I'm behind. Look at here, I got my goal. I ran across my goals. You know, I probably go and do some papers and clearing stuff out and throwing stuff away or whatever. Ran across my goals, and there I saw I'm supposed to be working on these advanced degrees by now. I'm supposed to be already at least have that master's, because that doctorate wasn't due until 2012, and this was like 2008, 2008, 2009. So anyway, that's when I went ahead and did what I needed to do, jump into that master's program, and after the master's program, we'll jump right into the doctorate. But anyway, that's what I say, write the goals down. And so Reggie all he had to do was remind me of my goals. One of my goals is to go ahead and get in this military so I can travel and so that I can have a pension. And all he had to do was that. He had to be threatening me with divorce every year. But anyway, why was I talking about that anyway? Threatening me with divorce every year. Golly, I forgot what I was talking about. I wish you could rewind this thing, see what you was talking about, and then come back to it before you go off on a tangent. He forgot me. But we were talking about going. Why was I talking about? Oh Lord, I can't remember. I think it was important. I think it was important. That's why I think I'm on my way to dementia. I think you're going to with the name of Jesus. I say I hope I don't get it, but my grandma had it, and it seems like I be forgetting what I'm talking about, and I forget words. So I might be on my way to dementia, but it's something about Reggie, and I do not even know. Talked about the parents. I don't know. Okay, well, I gotta talk about something else. I talked about that fire, and so anyway, you just I don't know what to talk about now. Let's see what I got. I don't know. Ain't nothing out here to make me want to think of anything. I don't even know. What's this one say? What's this? Oh, ain't nothing to tell me nothing what I would do. Well, I'm gonna get on a whole nother topic. You know what I was gonna think about? I can always say, when everything's a bad, they can always be worse. And so when you think about the situation, it's like, I think about this situation. I was like, it could be worse. What could have happened if Reggie could came back from Iraq, came back on the gurney, or came back in a wheelchair permanently, be sipping through a straw. And so what would happen is, I would be wanting to, give up my career. I would still work, because I had to pay bills. But during my days off, and during my off time and stuff like that, when my day is off, or when I get off work, I'd be going in there to see about him, making sure he's okay. I would want to make sure he maintained contact with his family. I made sure that the boys and everybody is, keeping him involved, concerned about his mental and social health and all this other stuff. And because, I would always think, you think, well, if it was reversed, if I'd gone down range and came back in a wheelchair on a gurney, he'd have took care of me. Well, see, I know different now. See, that's what you believe before you get people to show you who they really are. Before they get to live out the full gamut of their depth of character. So I would have been believing that if the reverse were true, he'd have been taking care of me too. And so And I wouldn't expect him to be hands-on. Like, I'd have been hands-on in here with him. I'd have been brushing his mouth with a little lemon scented, swabbing his mouth with the lemon scented, with the lemon tasting swab and all that other kind of stuff. You know, can't control your secretions. So you gotta use the swab, that lemon flavored thing. And, yeah, do the whole gamut. Wipe them down, clean them up, make them comfortable. And so I wouldn't expect him to do the same thing for me. I was expecting him to, at least to hire help, round the clock, 24-hour care, making sure I was comfortable, making sure I was taken care of. But after the man exposed himself and showed his true colors, I know darn well he wouldn't have took care of me. He had sent me off to the nursing home. Probably the cheapest in the county he'd have sent me to. And not only that, he would have divorced me too, so he wouldn't have to pay the bills. He wouldn't want to be responsible for that. Now he has responsibility. So he would divorce me and ship me off to the nursing home. I probably wouldn't get turned every 2 hours. Nobody's been brushing my mouth with the lemon scented swab. I just been laying up in there miserable. And then I'm miserable. I'm still in my own head, but I can't move my arms and legs. So I couldn't even wipe my own tears. I couldn't even take a bottle of pills if I wanted. So I just be stuck. But anyway, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the issues, putting them in your pocket. And so we're on this journey, and he's supposed to be there with me. And then when we look back on this and we laugh about the time when he was threatening me with a get divorced and all this other kind of stuff. And then we look back, and both of us drawing pensions. He got his pension, and I got my pension, and we laugh about the time when I wanted to get out of the Army. You remember when you wanted to get out, and I had to make you stay? And we yeah. See, that's what you're supposed to do. That's the way it would be. And I would be glad that he made me stay in, because we're both drawing pensions. We're both getting advantage from what he did. It would have been good. But see, if you're not sticking with the plan, if you move over and go on another journey, then what you got is this girl over here staying home taking care of kids that I wasn't allowed to do. So the issue would be me putting it in my pocket. So now I'm picking up his issue. His issue is the fact that he done remarried now, and the girl he married to ain't making as much money as I have, and so they can't afford sending her off to work while someone else take the kids. Well, you see, that's his issue. It ain't mine. So why am I going to pick up that issue and put it in my pocket and carry it around? You don't do it. So that was like my over my dead body truth. That's not going to be my reality. And the second thing is this pandemic. Not only the fact that she did nails and she couldn't take care, her income wouldn't support her outside the home, while she got 3 kids to take care of, my 2 and his 1, and then they might have another one, so it'd be 2, 3, or 4 more kids. Who knows? But either way, her income wasn't going to support her taking care of the kids outside the home. Her income wasn't going to support her working outside the home and then paying somebody to take care of the kids. So anyway, the pandemic comes. So now what happened? He's an essential worker, so he got to go in. She working at the salon. They closed them down. Pandemic closed the salons down for the most part. They may have had some salons that were still open, and they had petitions and minimal customers and so forth and so on. But either way, it wasn't going to be no moneymaker for her or for them. So what would happen? What? The girl would have been home with the kids. And I'm sitting on watching that. Not caring that the fact that the circumstance had changed. Her circumstance is not the same as mine. She out here, she's doing nails. That's not going to support the income for her to bring somebody in and take care of it. But that's not my problem. That's not my issue. So I would have still been upset. And she allowed to stay home and take care of the kids and still have a husband. Me, I stay home. I don't stay home. Yeah, I don't stay home and take care of kids. I gotta go with a divorce. If I want to stay home and take care of kids, I gotta be divorced to do it. But anyway, so that's what I was thinking about. I had to circle back around because I forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, bottom line is, your dad is a good guy. He was a good mold. You know them things you get in the craft shop? You're a mold. All it is, you can have a house, you can have a bird, you can have fish, you can have whatever. It's a mold. I got hair, and it got eyes, and it got arms, and all. It just don't have any color to it. You got to add the color. You got to add the character. Your dad was a good mold. He could have been the pillar of community. He could have been whatever he wanted to be. But he didn't get the support of the family. His family is wild. I didn't know why they showed up in Texas to sit down and eat our cake and drink our wine at the wedding. They should have just stayed in Texas. I mean, in South Carolina. They weren't going to support the wedding. They shouldn't have been there. But anyway, they showed up, ate the cake, drank the champagne, and everything else. Waste of time. That's why you spend time with your in-laws. You want them to get to know you, and you want to get to know them. So that when the storm comes, you can be a united front. But not these people. Whole different situation. But anyway, where we at? 25 minutes. I went longer than I needed to. Longer than I intended to. But, I forgot my train of thought. And so that took a little time to get back on track. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm finished working on these. I'm finished working on these gummies. These things are so funny. They are just like rubber. It's like what you would eat if you would eat. If you would eat a tire. It's like eating a tire, I guess. A rubber tire. But I ain't buying these no more. I'm going to stick with my fruit snacks. They're good. I like them. Anyway, bye. Good night. Life goes on.